Hello and welcome to FireStar's Afterburn, where we give you the insider's look and analysis of everything going on with the FireStar Corporation here in Greensboro. Today's episode, we're going to talk about WrestleRevival II. And here sitting with me, we have Mike Kaz and Joe Capp. Good. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
So, just in case, because not everyone got to see WrestleRevival II, first thoughts on the show. What do y'all think of it?
Great show. I've been following FireStar for a while now. Every show is an improvement, and this is no slouch in that department. Holiday Slam was a blast, and coming back for 2014, this has been a really good show. I was glad I was there.
Well, if you missed it, you shouldn't have. You should have been here. This was a phenomenal show, top to bottom. Just things that you wouldn't imagine on an independent wrestling show happened tonight, and you guys got to be in Greensboro next time. So we'll talk about June later on.
Yeah, I have to agree. I've been to a couple of FireStar shows now, and this is by far the best one that I've been to. We had just about everything. First off, let's just talk about that amazing tag match that started off. Andrew Everett, surprise entry with Kozone as his tag partner. Really incredible, amazing wrestler. Any thoughts on that?
That was a very good tag match. Andrew Everett actually the night before wrestled a 65-minute match with former #1 contender for the FireStar heavyweight title, Trevor Lee. So to have him wrestle the next day is amazing. So that match was really good with against two guys who are known to work more in the Charlotte area, who are now kind of branching out. And I think those guys we had in that match, we had Mr. Elite Drew Myers, Lance Lude. They're new to the area, but they're very impressive in the ring, and I think we'll be seeing more of them in FireStar.
Absolutely. And one thing I can really say is history making as far as inside FireStar with this show, with the fact of that massive battle royal we had for the first ever Southeastern champion. Any thoughts on that?
Well, before we get to the Battle Royal, I do want to throw down one last thought for the tag team match. I was surprised to see Drew Myers, Mr. Elite, and Lance Lude working together. That was the first time I've seen them as a tag team. I don't know if that's a new thing. I've seen quite a lot of both of them in the ring around North Carolina. It was a new side of Mr. Elite I hadn't seen before. Usually he's very tough, very cocky, very much a loner. He's been getting into a lot more tag team matches, and I want to see some more of that. So I'm glad if he's going to be coming back to FireStar, I hope he'll be doing some more tagging. Whether it's with Lance Lude or not, definitely want to see more of him with FireStar. And I think that Kozone, although he already has a tag team partner, the surprise with Andrew Everett today, the crowd really seemed to enjoy it, so I think that was a good choice.
That I can't agree more.
When is the crowd not behind Kozone?
This is true. He does seem to always bring something out of that crowd.
And so does Andrew Everett. They love him. He's popular wherever he goes. So I think that the match of the two of them, whether temporary or something we might see again, it was kind of a dream match, I think, for a lot of the fans.
Yeah, I think we can just go ahead and call that tag team crowd pleaser and just go ahead and get it out of the way. I think one of the key selling points of the show was that battle royal I mentioned earlier, and Manny Garcia. Now, it was a little bit of a surprise for me coming out as victor.
I have to say, I love Manny because I love to hate Manny. I despise him. I want to kick him in the nuts. I mean, he is an awful villain, and I can't stand him. But that being said, I love to not stand him. And seeing him tonight, he was in good form. He had it going on. I was telling people in the crowd, keep an eye on Manny. I was telling the cameraman, keep an eye on Manny. And he came out on top, and I was glad to see that. I definitely want to see more from him. The ruder, meaner, more cocky he gets, it seems to be working for him. It's like his spinach for Popeye. So keep heckling him, and who knows, maybe he'll be a champion.
Question for you: do you think he's going to be a respectable champion? Since he is the first ever champion, he has to set a standard.
That's true. There is no standard for this title, saying there was no title for him or this position until tonight. So. Will he set a standard? I think so. I think he's one of the hottest young guys in this business today. I think he's going to go leaps and bounds, and in a couple of years, we're going to be watching him on television. So for him to get his start here in FireStar, I think that means the world. And in a couple of years, people will be like, oh, FireStar Pro Wrestling out of Greensboro, that's where you started? Wow. He is just a natural talent. I love the guy. The guy is he's one of the best talents I've seen in this area in a while.
Yeah. Another key point that I noticed in that Battle Royal match, someone who didn't impress me so much, Chet Sterling, hanging around the ring like he was a ring girl the entire time. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know if I have much thoughts on Chet. I mean, Chet is a... I I'm trying to think of an
Chet's been
appropriate
more
word.
impressive. He's been more impressive. I think that suffices for tonight. He wasn't in good form tonight, I felt. I mean, he's definitely been more impressive, more aggressive. He did really just seem like he was there to sort of towel off Trevor Lee tonight. And not really much else. And I think the crowd sensed it too, because the crowd doesn't usually get out of their seats to physically challenge the wrestlers as much as they did tonight.
Yeah, that was true. I did see a lot of hostility towards those two tonight, especially towards that main event, which I have to say was amazing. Did not expect them to go to the lengths they did, but it makes sense since it was for the heavyweight championship.
No, it was for the title. Anytime it's for the title, it's going to be a big match. And that match definitely did disappoint. Of course, we had a lot of shenanigans in that bout, especially on the with Trevor Lee and Chet Sterling really trying to get the crowd provoked. Seemingly every time Trevor needed a breather, he needed a break, he wasn't winning, always going to the outside, always looking for some way out of the match. And he didn't get his way out of the match, he lost.
This is true. So, Trevor Lee lost. Do you think there's anything he could have done that could have come out with a victory?
Well, I say one thing that definitely works for them. You were mentioning that, he does jump out of the ring pretty quickly. Any excuse for a breather, any excuse for a moment. And Chet is really good about stirring up the crowd, getting them involved, getting them in the way, breaking up the flow of the match. That's a good strategy, and it usually works for them pretty well. There's no denying that Trevor is a talent. I mean, he doesn't need necessarily that kind of trickery and that sort of foul play to get ahead, but it does work for them. So it wasn't clicking for him tonight, but I don't think we should count Trevor out yet.
If Trevor focused more in the ring, I think he could be a champion in any promotion, anywhere along the East Coast. But his mind wanders. He focuses on the fans or maybe a manager or whoever. His mind wanders too much. Trevor is easily one of the best young athletes we have right now, but his mind just sometimes isn't focused on the prize. Tonight the prize was the FSPW Heavyweight Championship, which if he just hooked that leg, if he just hooked it for 1 extra second, he could have been the FireStar Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
Easier said than done when you're going against Kamikaze Kid, though.
That is true. That is true.
But someone I do think had their head focused was the Nick D Corporation there. That swerve at the end. What are your thoughts on that? We saw Scrapyard Dog take up Victor with that Anywhere, Anytime contract, and out of nowhere, took the show by surprise.
Yeah, it certainly took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it, couldn't have predicted it. And as for my feelings about Nick D and his organization, I think he is a cheater, and I think he is a swine. But that being said, that was strategically one of the most brilliant moves I've ever seen. So before Nick comes out, I don't want to hear him, don't want to say this to his face, don't let him know that I said this, but man, that was well played. I'm very interested to see where the organization is going to go now that Scrapyard's got the title and Nick has got the power of Marcellus King and the anger of Joe Black backing that up.
People don't realize that Marcellus King is a former heavyweight champion in multiple wrestling promotions up and down the East Coast, and he hasn't been involved in pro wrestling, and having the last year he's kind of taken off. So having him back, that is the biggest insurance policy anyone can have. This guy is a legitimate heavyweight champion in any wrestling promotion you want to have up and down the East Coast. And now he's going to be wrestling Bobby Lashley in June, right here in Greensboro. This man walks into the building and automatically gets a shot at a former WWE champion and TNA champion. So this stable Nick D has it's incredible. It's impressive.
Yeah, and actually I would like to get some words from Nick D himself. And so without further ado, Nick D.
Gentlemen. Yeah. As you can see, put it on the table. FireStar Pro Wrestling title in my possession. I know you're probably wondering where Scrapyard Dog is. Now he's a champion. He's probably busy. I told him, I'll take care of the talking. So, any questions, you can direct them towards me.
I guess the one question on my mind is where did that come from? That swerve, that opportunity stir. I mean, you pretty much could just say you're the ultimate opportunist for FireStar right now.
Well, first and foremost, let me tell you, this is how things go. When you associate with Nick D and stable of success, that's what happens. as you can see with Chris Lee, you know, everybody knows him for being on TV and radio. But the fact of the matter is, he's not smart. He's too busy concerned about these fans out here, and what happened? He got screwed over. And Kamikaze Kid, he's been a thorn in my side for over a year. He kicked me out of the building. So what happens? I know and I could take an opportunity, and I saw it. You're right, I am the ultimate opportunist. And now that I've got 3 of the most determined, angry men on my side, this belt's gonna be staying with me for a while.
You know, Nick, I've been watching your power play to take over FireStar for a long time. Thought you were going to be the downfall of this organization, but I'm actually starting to change my mind and think that you might be just what this organization needs to get some stronger fighters on the side of FireStar, since you're clearly out for yourself.
Well, you see, Joe, you know, I kind of look at it like the Yankees, the Miami Heat, you know, the New England Patriots, the Seattle Seahawks. You just can't help but to win. And sometimes you've got people that just don't like to see winners. Just like yourself. You don't like to see winners. But when you associate yourself with Nick D, you just get success. Everybody knows that when you associate yourself with Nick D, titles happen. Success happens.
Well,
the stable of success happens. And tonight was just the start. The path to glory, it doesn't matter who's in it. Because I'm going to put Joe Black in there. And he's going to make sure he wins it. And then we're going to make sure nobody wins it. And we're going to take over FireStar. So it doesn't matter whose other 8 guys are in it.
well,
It's the stable of success, baby.
well, the stable of success wasn't doing so great before when you were repping the Gorilla Squad. Now you've got 3 angrier men on your side who are definitely a wild card, especially Marcellus King, who I've seen quite a lot of. And he is an unpredictable player at best. And I don't know that you are really bringing the success as much as you're riding with that team. So you might want to be careful that they don't leave you behind when it's all said and done.
I'm going to piggyback off that thought. What is your thought process of calling out Bobby Lashley of all people?
Well, see, Bobby Lashley, answer yourself this question. Where's Bobby and Lashley now? What is he doing? Huh? What is he doing? What is he doing? Exactly. That's the whole point. Bobby Lashley is nothing but a has-been, washed-up wrestler who wants to do MMA one week, wrestling next week. And if he comes here June 1st and gets in the ring with Marcellus King, he's going to show him why. We're going to send him right back to where he's going. He's probably working at some elementary school as a 5th grade school teacher because he's doggone sure in being in wrestling. Because if he gets in the ring with Marcellus King and he messes with the stable of success, bad things will happen. And Bobby Lashley will be one of them.
That's some intense words there. Speaking of, since we're going in path to glory, like, what is your thought process moving forward with the stable of success?
Oh, domination, win, success. That's what we do. We succeed. 3 the hard way. You get it. See, you've got Joe Black, who's going to be success. Scrapyard Dog, success. Marcellus King, success. That's what we do. We succeed. So it doesn't matter who's in the tournament. Aaron Biggs, Chris Lee, Kamikaze Kid, it doesn't matter. We're going to succeed. And this, my friend, you see this belt? See this belt, ladies and gentlemen? It's going to stay with me for a while. Get used to it.
I might have to actually agree with Nick D here, because if you look at it, Joe Black's a very young up-and-coming wrestler who's only going to have more success. You got Scrapyard Dog, who's the veteran, who's the old guy, but he's the veteran. He's the champ, but he's the veteran of the group. He's smarter probably than half this locker room right now. He's got experience on his side. And Marcellus King is just a dangerous, dangerous man. He is a heavyweight champion everywhere he goes, like I said. So he's going to want to protect that investment, because someday Marcellus is going to have that prize on his shoulder once the veteran passes it down to the younger generation.
Don't count Marcellus King out, because I assure you that he has an agenda. You may be smart, Scrapyard is smart, but Marcellus King is not to be underestimated.
There you go, trying to start trouble already. That's the problem with people like you.
You are trouble,
and his fans. You're always trying to start trouble now. Don't worry about the future. You worry about the present. And right now, the present is I have the belt and I have the stable of success. That's what you need to worry about, my friend. And quite frankly, I'm tired of you guys asking me enough questions. I'm out of here. This interview's over.
Well,
I didn't ask any questions.
at this
As
time,
long as he's gone, that's good enough for me.